Donald Trump just flexed his muscle by inviting Joe Rogan to the White House to sign an executive order. But it really wasn't a message about the executive order. The reason he had Joe Rogan show up is because he is sending a shot across the bow to Democrats and Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Alex. Joe Rogan alone has a bigger audience than Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and Megyn Kelly combined. Some say it's 30 to 50% larger. So what Donald Trump was signaling was he doesn't need these right-wing influencers as long as he has Joe Rogan. And he also took a shot at Vice President Kamala, saying, hey, you better step your game up. And not just her, any Democrat. You better step your game up because he still has the same reach. With that being said, Donald Trump, I just want you to know I'm on to you and your tricks aren't going to work. All right, I get what you're doing, but trust me, we got secrets too, and we got some tricks up our sleeve that you just won't believe.
The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opioid problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses.
Wow.
It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people.
Yes, I believe you saw what happened at the White House. At some point, it is impossible to ignore this. Watching Cackling the View, Whoopi actually said something that drew my attention. When you take a look at this, Whoopi Goldberg suggests Trump is not listening to Gina on trans issues when he's listening to Joe Rogan on because of sexism. They had to talk about this visit to the White House. They seems not to be happy with this. Some say he's invited Joe Rogan because he wants his support. I believe you saw this guy at the beginning. Before we go into this full analysis, take a look at this.
I saw the clip of Joe Rogan in the White House, and I was like, because I listen to him pretty often, and I've seen that he's been more and more splitting with Trump, especially. And I had this little debate at my kitchen table with my husband this week, and I was saying Trump is historically unpopular. And my husband actually pointed out and was accurate in the fact that he's historically unpopular for this point in his second term, but presidents have been more unpopular. George W. Bush, Harry Truman, Nixon, George H.W. Bush all got into the 20s. Trump's at about 37. So on the one hand, I think the argument that the MAGA base is fleeing in droves is a little overstated. But on the flip side, 37% is not winning you anything. You are not winning the midterms as Republicans if your president stands at a 37% approval rating. If you're running in 2028 to be the heir apparent to Trump, you're not winning if his approval rating is still at 37%. Right. But what is remarkable to me is these influencer types that still stand by him when he attacks them, when he betrays the things that they swore that they were for. Megyn Kelly has been going after him, but then also said Trump could drop a nuke and I'd still vote Republican over Democrat. Tucker Carlson's been excoriating him, especially on attacking the faith community. I'd maybe vote for him again. And Joe Rogan hasn't said one way or the other, but I think he would vote for him again. We live in such a polarized moment that even when it impacts you, people are like weirdly not willing to switch party lines. It's bizarre to me.
No, there is something these people keep skipping. Loyalty. There are a lot of people that can be loyal to you. It doesn't mean if you do something that they don't like, they will not call you out. This is exactly what is going on. There are things that Trump is doing. They have right to call him out for what they don't like. And it doesn't mean because he's doing some things you don't like, immediately you have to switch party. If things were happening like this, then I don't know. Looking at what is going on, Megyn Kelly actually said that if he drops he will still vote Republican. That is because the way he sees the Democrat Party cannot permit her to ever vote that party again. That is it. What people fail to understand nowadays is the fact that if you criticize the president, immediately they believe that, oh, you are done with him. No. People know Trump before he was president. Dr. Casa has been there for a very long time. If he decides today that no, I can't support Trump because he's doing that, that is his personal decisions.
It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted right now in this country. With 1 dose of iodine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. Illegal not because they're harmful, they're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-women. It's not because it's harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions.
But not everyone who campaigned for him is having such good luck getting through. Question of why Joe Rogan is getting this pass through is, this is something they've been talking about for years, of using psychedelics to work on post-traumatic stress syndrome and many, many other things. So what is it because Caitlin's a woman?
The difference between the Republican Party and the Democrat is that Democrat will see the wrongs of the president. They will not call it out. Yeah, they will continue to say everything is okay. The Republican Party, at some point, I see a lot of these people trying to say, no, this is not okay. This is not okay. That is actually what I like. Call it out, but continue to, when Trump was doing campaign, I saw a lot of these people rallying behind him. And if some are getting angry because of certain decisions, there are things we cannot see, or we don't even have more information to know. Only them at the top understand exactly what is going on. That is always my conclusion when things like this are happening. At some point, you might believe that, he said he will not do this. But along the way, he noticed something that we are not seeing. Then he engages in that. This is exactly what is happening.
We were talking before the show about who has more of his ear. Is it a Joe Rogan or a Caitlyn Jenner? It's which issue suits Donald Trump better. Because as you said, he's suffering. What issue is going to get more people behind it? Mental health, working with vets. What's not going to get his base behind him is any trans issue, because that's what he wrote on, was anti-trans messaging. He flip-flops a lot. That is not an issue he's going to flip-flop on. But I do think it's interesting when you were asking about Caitlyn Jenner, she was renewing her passport, which is when she realized it. So I don't know at what point she thought he was ever going to help her out on that issue, considering how he ran for office.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
I don't want to make the video long. I think I'm going to end here. God bless you abundantly. They hardly recommend videos again on this channel. So please, I'm begging on you, hit the videos. Yes, share out, please. I'm begging.
In support of that,
Minutes until the First Lady brought them back with her surprise statement last week.
how does this benefit?
I'm an actor.
Creative content.
Why are you not looking forward to the White House fight?
Well, it's kind of a gimmick.
I have 300.
Lewis. The greatest card of all time.
Jimmy Kimmel was on Michelle Obama's podcast. If for some reason you missed it, Common Sense will get you caught up. Turns out Kimmel says he loves being funny and loves when the audience laughs. Problem is, Kimmel stopped.